Hey everyone, Dukaness here with a video focused on the heroic mode Vosik encounter. My understanding is that most raid teams have had more trouble with Vosik than with Aksis on heroic mode, so even though I promised more Aksis videos, I think this is more of a priority. In the Aksis fight, the challenge was with the mechanics. If you failed at the mechanics, it would snowball into a bigger problem, which is DPS, so it made sense to save supers and special ammo and heavy ammo for the DPS phase. Vosik is almost the exact opposite. The struggle is getting to the damage phase over and over and having everyone stay alive. So that's the theme today. Tips, tricks, and strategy to stay alive. How you can increase your chances of having all 6 players alive for the entire engagement and sacrificing DPS to minimize deaths. The first thing I'll cover is the appropriate subclasses to use on each character, as well as their position and strategy. I'll follow that up with when I recommend using your heavy ammo and supers. I'll then cover my strategy for retrieving the front bombs, a trick to get a head start on DPS using the bombs, and a formula to not get tripped up on what safe room to go to. If you have 3 Night Stalkers and 3 Defenders, this is the optimal setup for Vosik because you can create infinite orbs with a bubble and a tether in all 3 areas. Obviously that's not ideal because it excludes an entire subclass and won't help you run your alternate characters. For that reason, we're going to talk about a 2-2-2 character setup, more specifically 2 Sunsingers, 2 Night Stalkers, and 2 Defenders. Both of your Defenders will be in the middle. This is so they can drop a bubble right here and right here. Vosik will destroy these bubbles in seconds if you shoot at someone inside one. Putting the bubbles behind the cover in these clips protects them from him. It also puts the bubbles in a location that everyone can easily access. I recommend Armor of Light for both bubbles since our top priority is staying alive. This allows all 6 players to dip in and out, constantly having an overshield. You'll have a Night Stalker and a Sunsinger on both the left and the right. I recommend the Defenders and Night Stalkers pop their bubbles and tethers as soon as they get them. You will be able to get enough DPS without these damage buffs, so it makes sense to spend your supers on clearing ads as safely as possible. Constantly using your supers is going to create plenty of orbs, which leads to more supers, so don't be afraid to swap sides to collect the orbs created by your teammates in opposite areas. As you can see here, I drop my tether. I let my teammate know he's solo for a few seconds, and then I go and recharge my tether. I've beaten Vosik numerous times with low light level teams that didn't use any supers or heavy ammo during the DPS phases. Further, we managed to do that in 3 rotations, or only using 2 safe rooms. So just like I recommended burning supers in the ads phase, it makes sense to burn heavy as well, since you clearly don't need it for Vosik. For that reason, captains are 0 tolerance. As soon as I hear a teammate call out that the captains have spawned, I switch to Gallahorn. Depending on your light level and how accurate you were, it usually takes about 2 to 3 Gallahorns to kill a captain. If you look at these clips, I just keep reloading and firing until it's dead. If you aren't using heavy on Vosik as I recommended, and you only need 1 or 2 rockets per player for each captain, and heavy ammo sometimes drops, and you can pop a heavy synth at some point in the fight, you should have a lot of rockets remaining for ads. If you're in a pinch, and the ads are stacking up, and you're starting to feel uncomfortable like you might die, just rip a Gallahorn. You don't need the ammo, so you may as well use it to avoid a death. I'll take out 1 drag with a Gallahorn if my shield is down and my primary is empty, and I'm starting to panic. There's no reason to risk dying, so don't be scared to burn heavy on weaker enemies. As for special and primary, I run out of ammo in this engagement more than anywhere else in Destiny, so I've developed a few tricks to keep my reserve stocked. Pushing up to grab ammo in the corners is pretty risky. You can easily get overwhelmed when a new wave spawns, especially if Vosik has a line on you. I like to sit back and deliberately not kill enemies until they move up to a certain point. When I do kill them, the ammo drops are close enough that I can retrieve it without taking too much of a risk. Secondly, you can get ammo drops from enemies that you didn't kill or even shoot at, as long as you were close enough to those enemies when they died. If you were paying attention to this clip, I didn't fire 1 shot at the middle, but I can still pick up ammo from those enemies. So when you're already running around looking for orbs or you're out of ammo, go to the places where your teammates are killing their ads. You'll likely get a few drops, which can make a big difference. I recommended you put a Night Stalker and a Sunsinger on each corner because I think those 2 subclasses are the best equipped to retrieve the furthest bombs. If you're a good Titan skater, I could see that working out, but I think for the majority of the player base, these 2 are the easiest. I put Vanish on my smoke grenade and retrieve the bomb as soon as it drops. Don't use it until you're at risk of being shot to get the most out of the ability, because it only lasts about 5 seconds. A Night Stalker with tier 5 strength will have their smoke grenade come back in 29 seconds. That's almost the exact amount of time in between the bombs falling, so you should have it charged every time. And as you can see in this clip, it's completing its charge as I'm ready to go back out. Night Stalkers shouldn't have an issue retrieving the bombs, but I still think Sunsingers are a safer bet. You won't need your Radiance anywhere else in the fight, especially because they don't even let you use your self-res half the time. One of the few situations where self-res is allowed is when you die to the adds during the bombs phase, so I suggest having a Sunsinger play that dangerous role of grabbing the furthest bomb. I like to equip the Claws of Ahamkara for a second melee charge. If you're ever retrieving the bomb from a group of adds, slap something to get your flame shield, which reduces your chances of dying during or after throwing the bomb. I play pretty reckless if my super is charged. Once I burn it, then I play more cautiously. As a hunter or titan, don't go for the bomb if you think there's a chance you might die. This is the most important thing to take away from this video. Your team does not need that one bomb throw. It is infinitely more important for you to stay alive. So take this clip for example. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'll go grab that. Then a ton of ads come out, I wasn't 100% sure if I'd survive, so I pulled a 180 quicker than a kid that just walked in on his parents. I already suggested you should use your supers and heavy ammo on ads to avoid dying. So that means the majority of your DPS on Vosik is going to come from sniping him, which is certainly a viable method to kill him. There is a trick, however, to get a bit of a head start on DPS. If your entire team hits Vosik with all 6 Siva bombs simultaneously, it'll take exactly 3 rotations to drop his shields. However, it doesn't take 18 Siva bombs to drop his shields. It takes 15 bombs that connect after one bomb has already connected. So think of it like this. Vosik has an invisible shield, obviously one that you can't see, as well as his visible white shield. The first bomb that hits removes the hidden shield. Then, any bombs that come in shortly after that actually take away from his visible shield. This can be exposed to get additional damage by forcing a 4th rotation of Siva bombs. Now, it's rare for any team to perfectly land all 6 bombs at the same time 3 times in a row, so you're probably going to have 4 rotations regardless. But if you are on pace to drop his shields in 3 rotations like my team is in this clip, you can have one player hold back. So as you can see, Vosik's shield is definitely 2/3 of the way down. When someone called for the team to throw, I deliberately hang on to my bomb, knowing that if I throw it, we'll force a damage phase, which we don't want. The result is his shield being 1 bomb away from going down, which you can see. Now watch what happens on the 4th rotation. The first bomb drops his invisible shield again, the second bomb finishes off his visible shield, and the next 4 bombs that hit damage his health. You can actually see his health bar move as I slow this down. Each bomb does about 130,000 damage, which is comparable to about 2 full sniper clips, so you don't want to leave that damage on the table if you don't have to. A few people have argued that forcing a 4th rotation risks someone dying because more ads come out. While I think that's a fair point, you need to be comfortable taking out waves of ads to beat this fight, especially waves without captains. This guide has prepared you to minimize deaths during this phase, so I think you're better off going for damage in this isolated situation, even though I did label DPS as a second priority. Also, that extra damage might help you skip an entire safe room, which would save you 3 to 4 waves of ads. Speaking of safe rooms, the worst and sloppiest way to take a death is by not making it to a safe room on time. One of the more common forms of miscommunication in this engagement is the confusion on which room to go to. 2 safe rooms are available after every DPS phase. There's a simple way to decide where to go. Once the Siva density levels are critical, have one predetermined player look to either side, say the right side for example. If they see the back right room is open, obviously call that out and go there. If that room isn't open, that means 2 of the other 3 rooms are open, which means one of those 2 rooms is guaranteed to be on the left. So that player should call for their team to go left before they even turn around, just like right here. As soon as I see Siva density level is critical, I look right. As I mentioned, since the door is dark, there is guaranteed to be a room on the left, which is why I call out.
Left side.
Now that my team has not wasted any time moving in the wrong direction, on your way over, you can call out precisely which room on the left to go to, the front or the back. You should be able to see the back left immediately, which I see as dark. If it was lit up, I'd have called back left, but it was dark, so I called
Left side. Left. Front.
During the second rotation, simply go to the side that has 2 rooms still available, which in this case would be the right side, since we already burned 1 room on the left. Also, when you leave the safe room, there's a short period of time before the ads come out. I recommend making use of this time by collecting orbs and ammo like I'm doing in these clips right here. I know we're already running a little long, but let's quickly summarize. Defenders and Night Stalkers will constantly use their supers to help the team stay alive and chain orbs. DPS is a second priority. The first priority is staying alive and surviving. For this reason, burn heavy and supers on captains and ads. Sit back and let the enemies bring ammo drops to you. Grab drops from ads you didn't kill for ammo as well. Sunsingers are the safest class to retrieve the front bombs because of self-res and flame shield. Night Stalkers are second best by using vanish to go invisible. If your team is very coordinated with their throws, hold back 1 bomb to force a 4th set of bombs for extra damage on Vosik. Have 1 player look at a safe room. If they see it lit up, they can call it out. If it's dark, they should instruct their team to move to the opposite side, knowing one of those rooms is guaranteed to be open. For the next room, simply go to the side that still has 2 unused rooms. So yeah, that's my general Vosik guide. I say general guide because we actually came up with a unique and better way to approach this fight. I'm currently working out some small stuff, but the concept works and I am going to make a video about it, so make sure you subscribe. As for this video, if you learned something or found it useful, don't be shy with that like button. Also, let me know if you have any unique ideas for Vosik. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Good luck in the raid, my friends. Dukaness out.